still so slow.
Welcome back to Savage Radio 89.7 FM, KSVG. I am JD Dyslexic. This is the Earl Parsons Project. It is my personal playground for musical joy. We just heard, what did we hear? We heard Modest Mouse, Heart Cook's Brain off of 1997, The Lonesome Crowded West. That just was re-released. It was impossible to find on CD and vinyl for a long time, and they just re-released it this year. Before that, we had Mac DeMarco, Dreamin' from the album 2, and then we kicked it off with Built to Spill, Reasons from the album There's Nothing Wrong with Love. Now, I am joined by a very special guest. Can my guest hear me?
Yes, I can, Earl.
Oh, wow. You're coming in pretty heavy, sir.
Do you need me to do a sound check?
No, there's no sound checks needed, but there was a bit of a mix-up. I talked with your publicist to set this interview up. He told me your name was Ariel Rosenbaumstein. Now you're saying that your name is different?
Well, I prefer to go by Doc, actually.
Okay, Doc. We'll just call you Doc.
That would be fine, Earl. Thank you.
You are a talent agent for exotic animals.
That is correct, Earl.
How do you get started in a field like that? That's a very specific type of job.
Well, you see, I always had an affinity for exotic animals. I pursued a medical degree in veterinary science in order to become a veterinarian. And quickly I realized there was more money in cosmetic surgery for animals, especially down here in Los Angeles where I'm from. So I opened up a office in Beverly Hills, and it became quite successful. I had a lot of clientele coming in that would seek cosmetic surgery to get better film roles. And it wasn't very long before a friend of mine, who happened to be a talent agent, he needed an oceloti for a certain role.
What is an oceloti?
That's an Italian ocelot.
Okay.
And he did not know where to find an oceloti, and I happened to have a client, or a patient, excuse me. I'm used to changing careers still. I had a patient at the time that happened to be one. So I put them in touch, and before long I realized how simple it was to find casting calls and get these patients of mine roles. And before long I had transitioned out of the veterinary field of veterinary cosmetic surgery is what we called it. Out of the veterinary cosmetic surgery field and into representing animal talent.
Tell me a little bit about veterinary cosmetic surgery. I didn't realize that animals needed. What are you doing? Like boob jobs on lemurs?
Don't be ridiculous, Earl. That's well, we have some particularly talented animals in this city, but not all of them have faces for film. Some have faces for radio sound effects. But for example, we've had some hooved animals whose horns maybe weren't pronounced enough. We've had a lot of dental work and well, we've had just every type of surgery you can imagine for a human. We've had for an animal. We could do neck. We could get rid of extra skin on animals' necks. That was primarily what we'd specialize in, actually.
Now, I know you specialized in dentistry. You used to make grills for exotic animals.
Well, we had another doctor in my office who worked for. I handled I'm a surgeon, actually, myself. We had the dentist was in office, and our clientele would come in there too. That's when I realized that we wanted to really help exotic animals find jobs rather than domestic animals or even agricultural animals. You see, we had some dogs and cats would come in, but many dogs and cats owners normally couldn't really. Our service is a little high end, let's put it that way. And so the animals that we would see come into our office happened to be certain animals that were more sought out in Hollywood. And one example that I think you just brought up was a bear that we had. We had Mr. Pickles Gonzalez, if my memory serves me correctly. He had a very successful role in Ben-Hur, Part 3. And so we had to, I guess he wanted a grill. He was feeling that was in style at the time, and so we gave him a diamond and platinum grill.
So you gave a bear grill. Am I right?
Yes, we give many bear grills.
Okay.
But basically, this is the moment that got me into actually representing exotic animals.
So I just want to move on. So you transition into representing them for film and television, getting them contracts, and discovering new animals. Your first major discovery was a young orangutan named Dunstan, star of the film Dunstan Checks In, famous movie. Tell me a little bit about what meeting him, and why he was so special.
Well, Dunstan and I, Sam actually is his real name. We met down in Mexico City one time when I was there for business, let's just say. And he seemed very amicable at first. We had an actually great experience down in Mexico. We went and saw a number of shows together, and he held himself together quite nicely in public. He didn't have any of the normal ape-related problems that you'd imagine that apes normally have.
What are some normal ape-related problems? You just said that like people would know what that is.
Oh, the grooming. The grooming is very, very troublesome when it happens at the wrong time. Let's just say that.
Okay.
So I got Dunstan. I brought him back to America to live with me, and he stayed with me for a while. Everything was fine, and I got him the role in Dunstan Checks In. It was actually his first major role. No commercial work, no prior film work. He was cast for Dunstan Checks In, and in the middle of filming, I have to be careful what I say on here. I'm still very upset by it. But in the middle of filming, Dunstan left. Dunstan left me and the Bill Norris Agency.
You work for the William Morris Talent Agency?
No. I'm sorry. That's the Bill Morris Agency. We have offices in Newark and in Montebello.
Okay.
Anyway, he got a little too big for his britches. Let's just put it that way. And he decided to go with another manager who I don't even want to say his name. So I'm sorry. You asked me about my experience with Dunstan. It's not very pleasant. I'd rather move on.
So what animals do you currently represent for the Bill Morris Talent Agency?
Oh, we currently have just too many to name in the Bill Norris Agency, but me and myself, I personally represent Polly Pronghorn, Peter Panda, Captain Capybara, Charlie Cheetah, Harold Hippo. And those are the ones who actually followed my instructions with the alliteration in their stage names.
So some of the animals don't like alliterative stage names?
Some of them don't respond well. Some of them have had names given to them when they were young that they can't remember a new name. You know how certain animals get. Our one with the best memory, though, has to be Ollie Ollie excuse me, he gets upset. It's Ollie Ollie Elephant! He has a sense of humor. We have Javon McRonald, that's our cougar, and we have Ted Bundy the deer. We're trying to get them to star in a buddy comedy together, but let's just say it's a little difficult to ensure a deer when a cougar is its co-star.
I want to know, what was the Javon? What was that name?
Javon DeRonald.
Javon DeRonald. I want to know a lot about this cougar. Tell me more about Javon DeRonald.
Well, Javon DeRonald, actually, he was an inner city cougar. He grew up actually very close to an urban community, and he originally was picked up by animal control for terrorizing pets in the neighborhood. We got the phone call, and we went and rescued him from the animal shelter. He still has a problem with pets. We're trying to keep him away from his new co-star. I mean, they need to be in close proximity, but you just got to teach him that he's not allowed to eat other animals.
Tell me a little bit about your work on Noah's Ark 2, Still Flooded, which is in production currently.
Well, it's in development currently. It's not quite in production yet. You see, the Noah movie, Part 1, starring Russell Crowe, was the first Noah movie that came around since I've been in the city, and I'll tell you, I'll just be completely honest with you. It was actually I had about a dozen of my clients working on that film. It was really helpful for me and helpful for our company. And after that, it got pretty slow. And so we've been lobbying the studios very hard to pick up our Noah Part 2. One of them is currently with Sony. We're currently in development, and we'll see how it goes. I hope I have about another dozen animals now that would really love to get a role in that.
So what are some of your other upcoming projects other than Noah's Ark 2, obviously?
Well, right now we have Egg. He's a wombat, and he is currently trying to star in a remake of Bridge Over the River Kwai. And we're not really sure about let's just say Egg is having some problems. He has some insecurity issues, namely that he was named by a toddler. But I don't know. We have,
Well, that's fine. I want to thank you for stopping by. I kind of want to move forward. Your name is Doc. You are a talent agent for exotic animals. Where can people find out more about you?
Well, you can look up the Bill Morris Agency if you'd like. That would be all of our contacts. You can see our clientele and who we represent. And that would probably be the best place to look. If you'd like to find me on Twitter, you can find me at Doc Rosenbaumstein.
Doc Rosenbaumstein, okay.
So, thank you very much, Earl.
You have a great night. Thank you.